ahead, and I'm going to hit go live now. Oh my god, is it working? Oh my god, is it actually working? Okay, it's saying going live. Okay, I think it's working. Chat, if it's working, tell us right now.
Please give us
Please tell us if this is working. Is it working? Can you hear us? I feel like I'm fucking Hux in the in the beginning of The Last Jedi. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
He hit me. He say general hugs. Wait, I'll be back in 2 hours.
Wait. I'm
I'm getting stuff in the chat.
People are asking me what I thought of Knives Out. Yeah. I'm positive that we're actually live, but no one in the chat is responding to that question.
Oh, Jebelita Battlebush, help us out, please.
Jebelita, we need you.
We need feedback.
I'm almost certain. It says it's not.
Did you make the chat dark?
Yeah, I made the chat dark. Let's see.
I think it's working. I think it's on.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, let me look. Okay. Oh, we're there? Actually there? Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright.
Like I said, the chat dark. People are saying it's working.
Okay, thank god. Okay. Finally! Christ. Okay. By the way, I'm playing the Hallelujah chorus right now. Okay, chat. So there was a problem that we had where I was trying to go live the way that I usually do, where I have the stream key put in there, and then I hit go live in Streamlabs OBS. And once I hit that, then all I have to do is go to the YouTube dashboard and then hit go live there. I just have to wait for the button to go blue. So I hit go live, and then the button isn't going blue on YouTube. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? So Evan here, poor Evan, was stuck for like about 30 minutes with me as I'm trying to figure this out and doing all this like stupid mumbling to myself shit. He's just like sitting there awkwardly. And I ultimately was about to rage quit. I was going to say the stream has been canceled for the day. But I was persistent, and I decided, no, I'm going to figure out a way to make this work. So now that I'm seeing chat messages rolling in, people are saying it's kind of working, it's hearable. Okay, good. Alright. Okay. Finally. So, we're live. So, we have a lot of ground to cover here. It is possible that we'll have Vooder from Mahler's server come on and talk to us. In fact, I actually gotta... You know what? Give me 1 second here. I have to make us invisible for a second so that I can go ahead and add him to a call. We're probably going to have to end up in a new call briefly, but just give us a second here. Let's see. Vooder. Him too. And him too. Okay. Alright, here we go. Okay. Alright. We got a whole bunch of people that might be joining in soon or later. You never know. Okay. Alright.
Okay, good.
Cool. Okay. Now I'm going to make us visible again. Okay. So, I'm sorry. Buzz, how are you doing? Okay, so... Buzz, you have no clue how frustrating this night has been.
You just woke up.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I mean, I literally just woke up. What's going on?
Well, we're going to talk about Knives Out, among a couple other things. If you...
Why would you watch that?
Well, I mean, it's a Rian Johnson movie, and, you know, he makes the best movies, don't you know?
Close and your enemies close.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
I mean...
Why did you say those words?
I mean, the best at subverting your expectations for good movies, maybe? Okay.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because you told me what about the movie?
Mm-hmm.
This. And I thought, like, oh, it's brilliant, because now I guess it is. It's a double subversion. Everybody's expecting him to do something retarded, and he's like, hey, how about I just do the most world?
Well, I wanted to quickly go over a few things before we dive into Knives Out. We've got a lot of important shit to cover. So, last week we had the most successful Southpaw'dcast ever. We had 4 members of the EFAP cast crossing over, including Mauler and Wolf, and Jeremy, and Jay, which was just insane. Like, I was expecting Jay and Wolf to be there. I was hoping Jeremy would come on. I wasn't actually expecting him to. And I definitely wasn't expecting Mauler to come on during the stream. We got over 400 live viewers as we were streaming. The stream currently has over 8,000 views. I think that we're actually closing in on 9,000 views. And I have almost 400 new subscribers since I started streaming that. So, massive success. I appreciate everyone that tuned in, whether it was during the stream or watched after we were done. I'm very grateful for everyone who has subscribed and left comments, left likes. I mean, it was crazy. I haven't had a stream go that well ever. There are a few things that I want to clarify from the last podcast, because Jeremy came on and we had a little discussion that we've had some interesting reception to that. We have some of his fans are criticizing me, which is fun, but it seems like most of the people that tuned in thought that I did pretty well against Jeremy, and that Jeremy basically admitted certain things that made him lose a lot of respect. So, in terms of people like saying that they lost respect for him, like, you're entitled to feel that way, I ultimately gained respect for him, even though some of the things that he said, like, I wasn't impressed with his argumentation. Okay? Let's just leave it at that. So what I'm going to do is I have a Watch Together open up right now. I'm going to link you guys to that Watch Together. Alrighty.
What's the video?
So this is actually going to be a clip from the last Southpaw'dcast.
Oh, okay. Oh, are we live right now?
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah.
Finally.
Oh. God.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 minute. Can I?
No N-words with a hard ER for you, buddy.
Give me like 10 minutes to prepare, because I literally just woke up.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Hey, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No.
I'll be right back.
It's fine. Okay. Well, I don't know what to fucking say. I guess that we'll go ahead and just well, actually, no. I'll wait until BuzzX comes back. Let me see if I can pull up some funny little memes. People have been making memes, and then there's a little backlog of them for me to go through. So let me go ahead and pull them up. Oh my god, it's such a nightmare stream.
Here's a discussion topic for when I'm gone. What was the best twist in a movie?
Oh god. Well, we're not talking about Knives Out yet. We're not. I mean, we'll get there. We'll get there. All right. So this is from Raimi Fan. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up on stream right now.
Oh, nice. That is hilarious.
Hang on, chat. You'll see it in a sec. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted. There we go. That's not it.
I thought you'd cancelled.
Yeah, so I finally...
We had, yeah, but...
I figured it out. We're live now.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't even started talking about Knives Out yet, so if you want to like bow out until later, Vooder. Yeah, guys, this is Vooder. He's from Mauler's server, and he's going to be talking with Evan later on tonight.
Okay, so you're not going. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It just sounds like you were still going. It was like,
Oh
okay.
no, we just started because Streamlabs was being like a supertism to me. It
Oh,
was
okay. I'll-
crazy.
Sorry for interrupting.
Oh no, you're okay. You're okay. You can drop in it. You can drop in at any point.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what the meme that you were looking up on the screen right now is from Raimi Fan, who has made a couple of memes actually, sort of about me and Chris Stuckman looking alike. Let me pull it up. There we go. Hold on, what's going on here?
Say I can't tell. Like the stream's like really far back for me.
Yeah.
Maybe there's just a big delay.
Oh no, it's fine. Let me go ahead and pull that up. There.
This suit.
There is. Let me see if I can pull that one up too. Yeah, we're just gonna look at memes for a second here while we wait for BuzzAxe to get here. We've got.
Answer his question about twists, man. What's your favorite twist?
Give me 1 second.
Oh.
These three memes have come from Raimi Fan. They're all great, and I've been waiting to show them at some point. It's just been a matter of time for showing off memes like this, because the last few streams haven't been the best times to show it. But best twist? Oh God, in Knives Out, or that was the question, right?
Just in any movie. He said.
Oh shit.
I believe, at least.
In any movie, I mean, it's really hard to beat the Kaiser Soze twist.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
I really liked
before he even touched Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I really liked the Prisoners twist, of course. Like Prisoners is a mystery movie that is very consistent, but also it's not that easy to figure out, and it's really satisfying to rewatch. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Entirely sure what?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. Like I can't think of like a twist in a movie that like blew my mind on the spot, like upon being asked this. Of course, I'm also trying to work through these little memes here. Oh, this one's also coming from Raimi Fan. Let me pull it up real quick.
To say one for me that kind of got me that I actually didn't know. I did not know the twist to Fight Club when I first watched that movie.
Oh yeah, that was yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, because I didn't spoil it for myself. I remember watching it. I was like, wow, that's a pretty good one. So, yeah.
You know what was you know what? I actually managed to. I didn't watch The Sixth Sense until I was like, I think 13 or 14 maybe, and that was, God, that was like back in 2009 or 2010, and I didn't know anything about the twist to that, so that was a pretty. I think, you know what, I might actually change my answer to The Sixth Sense. I didn't know anything about you know, the twist to that movie. Of course, it's kind of hard having to talk about twists without possibly spoiling it for anyone in the chat. So I don't want to.
We're just kind of naming titles, but yeah.
Yeah. If I say that the twist in The Sixth Sense is one of the best twists, people will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find another one to show. Oh, well, actually, that one's for Raimi Fan. Oh, so this is from Dusky the Demon. He did this really funny thing. We were talking about how MAGA hats are not. Oh shit! I need to actually make a source for this. Whoops. Okay. Hang on, chat. I am so terrible with this streaming stuff.
It says, "Are you something?" I don't know if they've been seeing all this.
Yeah, well, I'm.
Chat is frozen. It says.
Chat is frozen.
To say a lot of people are saying it's buffering. Do you think it's with the audio or is it?
Okay. All right, chat, can you hear us? All right. Refresh again.
Give it time. We will talk about Knives Out. And wait, I think that might have worked.
I'm so excited for Knives Out, guys. Clearly the best. Was it was it great? Did you love?
You know,
was it life changing?
I would say it's like a 5 out of 10. That's like a quickly. Oh, we're back. We're back in business. Okay.
Said it worked.
Okay.
Now you're back. Okay.
Yeah.
Praise Jesus.
Okay. So. Okay.
Everything's good.
I think so. Maybe. Okay, chat. Help us out here. What did you last hear us talk about? Did you hear anything about my recap of the discussion with Jeremy? Okay. All right. Apparently people hear us now. They say fixed. Okay.
It's one of the questions.
Hold on. There's a little delay. Like there's a little delay, so that it might take them a second to answer. I might have to repeat what I said. This is going great. This is going amazingly. We're good now? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Smash.
Ryan Johnson himself could be in the chat troll.
Oh, you know it.
Actually, I would love that.
I would love to see him in the chat somewhere. Jump onto a line.
Do you guys remember that that statement he made before The Last Jedi came out, where he was he doesn't like the idea of just making like a universally liked movie. To him, it's successful if half the people who saw it loved it and half the people who saw it say that's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Sure that he can't do that by design. Like a lot of people are saying he did it on purpose. I'm like, how do you?
Well, that's
how do
the
you
thing.
Plan that.
Because that's what I get, that the idea of like how it could possibly plan this, but he literally said this in an interview before the movie.
All right.
Like,
I'm going to quickly.
part of me is like, wait, is he a genius? Like, is that? Yeah, I think he did perfectly construct a controversial piece of shit. And if that was his intention, damn it, he got it done. Now that being said, I do find it weird though, because he's gone on like several pissy rants about how many people hate his movie, which is confusing because I mean but I thought that's what you wanted.
Right. Okay, so
He hasn't heard any fair criticisms, man. That grinds. My God.
yeah, that was a rough quote. Yeah. So I'm gonna get that little meme up there. So that's from Dusky the Demon, referring to a little thing that we said in our coverage of Jeremy, where we basically made it clear that having a MAGA hat is not the same thing as like getting kicked out of a restaurant for having a MAGA hat on is not the same thing as like getting kicked out because you're black or whatever.
Yeah. That was a very very interesting statement from him, because I believe he was saying, I don't believe these people when they say inclusivity and equality, because these are the same people who would kick somebody out for wearing a MAGA hat.
Right. Yeah.
One of these things is not like the other, Jeremy.
Yeah. And so
You chose to put on that MAGA hat. I didn't choose to walk around being black.
it's saying cutting in and out. Audio's dead. Audio cut out completely again.
What? Check it.
It helps you figure out.
And now-
listening to delayed audio.
Oh, hey, we've got
Stable now.
We've got head while saying stable now. Okay. Okay. Well, that's great, I guess.
One of those things where we can take the risk and keep going, or we can I don't know what to do because people are like, it's cutting out. No, it's like the chat doesn't agree.
Yeah, it's subjective as to whether it's working. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go into the watch together again, I'm going to jump over to 252. So I guess that people didn't hear it when we went over it the first time. So is it going to play?
Open up, please.
Hold on. All right. So I'm going to bounce this back to 253 or 251, whatever. Okay. So I just wanted to quickly address something about the discussion that I had with Jeremy. I was going over this, I guess, while the stream was lagging, so maybe you all missed it. But Jeremy said in the discussion that we had, you may remember this, that when he was talking about the Cyberpunk 2077 character creator, he was talking about how the media was going to use it to virtue signal, I guess, or grandstand about inclusion and diversity. But if you go back and watch his video, and we actually cover this part in the stream, but the thing is that we got kind of sidetracked by Jay's Twitter drama with Knobs, and so by the time that Jeremy came on, I'd kind of forgotten about this part of his video.
God damn it, Jay.
So, are we supposed to be seeing a meme right now? Not anymore, Alexandri. Anyways, so I don't know how far behind they are in the like delayed. I don't know how far behind they're delayed right now. Image is froze, audio is good. Well, we haven't really been playing much of a video, but we're about to start it right now. So here is the video that we covered on the last stream. And keep in mind that Jeremy said that he was talking about the media, not the developers, not the game. It was the media. Okay? So now we're just going to play it.
Evil media.
In an interview with Metro's senior concept artist, Marth Jonkers. Okay.
So keep in mind, Marth Jonkers, CD Projekt Red is senior concept artist. Okay? He works with the people that are making the game.
Not Marth from Smash.
Right. So now he's going to read this part off.
The studio is striving to make a game that's really inclusive. Okay, when people use the terminology inclusion, representation, and all of that garbage and nonsense, I immediately don't believe a word that comes out of their mouth after.
So he is talking about something that the developer said. Not just the media. Like, all of the media did was they quoted the developer. This was a thing that the senior concept artist actually said. So,
yeah.
Jeremy's defense for his video in my stream was factually inaccurate. Now, I'm not going to say that was a lie. If I say it's a lie, that means that he deliberately misled me. That it was pretty clear to me that Jeremy's memory of that of this video in particular, was foggy. And so I'm not going to, and he even said that he wanted to be careful about what he says because of that. So I'm going to give him a lot of grace here, but just keep in mind that his argument was inaccurate. And so I've already commented that several times. I have said if you go to this timestamp in the video that we covered, you'll see that he was reacting to something that developers said, and not just what the media was saying. It's very easy to see what it's very easy to interpret what he was talking about as he's ranting about the creator's decision to do this thing with the character creator. Now, that isn't to say that this isn't what he actually meant. All I'm saying here is this is how he miscommunicated himself. And that was a big thing I was trying to do in that stream, was trying to communicate the whole, the screen is frozen, audio is stable, checked on my mobile and PC. I don't know how how is the screen frozen? Alright, I'm sorry chat, I'll look this up. Because we're not like really showing too much of this.
Well, when you first showed this video to me, before we even officially started the podcast, that is what jumped out to me.
Mm-hmm.
is that if whatever he's trying to get across, it just sounds like he's angry at the sheer fact that somebody is just putting this idea in their game.
Right.
And like we also said, he the way he communicated his issue with the media was very odd, because when you watch the video, I mean, I guess he clarified it a little bit in the podcast, but when you watch the video, it sounds like he just didn't like the fact that anything was woke. But then he clarifies, I guess he tries to make a distinction between diversity and wokeness, which he did not do in in the video at all, right? Like I think he said in the podcast that he doesn't feel like there should be any special pomp and circumstance around having diverse characters. There should just be characters and something to attempt to normalize it, which I don't necessarily disagree with. I think that's a fair point. I think that does do a lot. If you just have a character, like a minority character and something, and they're just a character, that would do a lot to break down barriers. Like that's what so many people report about seeing Lieutenant Uhura in the original Star Trek series. Like she's just a black woman on a starship.
Well, to be fair,
and nobody's surprised that she's.
To be fair, and Jay pointed this out, this is not a normal thing in regards to like character creators, and so it is kind of noteworthy or newsworthy when there is a game that comes out that does something like this. And so it's just, the thing is that this was actually this was a PC Gamer article that took a part of this was there was a whole interview that he did with another website called Metro, and like if you just go to the PC Gamer article, you know what? Let me go ahead and I'll pull it up for you right now. PC Gamer, right? So I'm going to throw this in. So chat, if you go into that link, you'll find the article that Jeremy was reading in that particular video, and when you scroll down to, I think it's the, is it the second paragraph? My computer's being kind of slow right now. Sorry, folks. So second paragraph in an interview with Metro. If you click on the Metro, there's a whole interview that Marth Jonkers did, which focused on a bunch of other things besides this. And then this website, PC Gamer, decided to hone in on this one aspect. So this wasn't the creator coming out and doing this pomp and circumstance thing over this. Like, there was a bunch of other things that were being discussed, and then this came up, and then this website decided to emphasize it. So I personally don't think that it's worth getting that upset over. I do think it is a noteworthy thing when a game does this. I just don't think that there's a problem with what Cyberpunk's doing, or with PC Gamer even making an article like this. So I
think we're just gonna get. Oh, sorry.
I just wanted to finish with saying I'm not impressed with Jeremy's argumentation from my stream. A lot of people said that they lost respect for him for what he said, because he did say a few things that stood out to some people, and I totally get that. But I actually gained respect for Jeremy for coming on and discussing with me. And he has said that he is okay with us covering him in the future, although he wasn't interested in coming on today because he felt like the discussion from last week was kind of circular. Now, I thought that was actually rather productive, but...
That's true, dude, because if they did agree with objectivity, then they'd have to actually listen to criticism of how shit they are.
Alright, well, I'm starting the stream again. Hopefully... Let's see... Chat, go ahead and refresh.
Cat said after rewinding, I have no problems, by the way, so hopefully it all sticks around. Maybe it's just lighting right now.
I'm just waiting on chat to respond to having to refresh. Sounds fine now? Okay. Oh, by the way, thank you to Sid Nicholson for making this awesome profile picture for me. He was the guy that made that huge Christmas EFAP fan art, and he got a little like a zoomed in version on Metal Commander's like little picture, and so I said, oh, can I get it like a zoomed in version on mine, because he had one of me in there, and then he ends up actually making an all new picture, like an all new drawing of my current look, which I recently uploaded to my Twitter. So,
is this on your AV? Is this your AV? I mean, the one. This is what he made.
Yeah. And now
you look like Obi-Wan.
Yeah, now instead of looking like Chris Stuckman, I look like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, such a significant upgrade.
It's a huge upgrade. Okay. All right. So, we do have a couple of videos that we want to cover now, but before we get to that,
Nice.
Let's talk about Knives Out. So I'm going to take the watch together off the stream and just get the little...
Nice.
Guys, this is a spoiler warning for Knives Out. Evan and I both saw it last night.
Oh no, but I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
But Southpaw, I haven't seen it.
I don't care. Okay.
I don't give a fuck.
Okay. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is it is better than The Last Jedi, significantly. Like, by a huge margin, it is better than The Last Jedi.
I'd be very worried if it wasn't.
Absolutely, yeah. I was worried going in. I was thinking maybe he'll try something similar. I was hearing a lot before the movie came out, and I was like, oh man. But
Didn't he make a statement or whatever that like The Last Jedi influenced his creation of Knives Out?
That was one of
okay,
those.
so that's why you
we're gonna
I was worried he was gonna intentionally do stuff that was like detrimental. I don't know.
Well, that might be a point of disagreement for us. So let me just first off, I want to say the editing in this film is fantastic. It is like one of the best edited films I've seen all year. The cinematography is pretty well done. There's like a couple of shots. I mean, for the most part, it's just okay. It's nothing that particularly special, but there's definitely a few shots in there is like, okay, this is like a really well composed shot, and the way that the camera moves around is neat. So I have pretty much just positive things to say about the editing and the shot composition in Knives Out. There wasn't really a moment where I felt like it fucked up on a particular like editing moment or a shot. All looks great. Other thing that I don't really have much of criticism on is the acting. Now, I mean, the editing and the acting were both pretty good in The Last Jedi, save for, I mean, there was a whole disappearing knife thing, and there's fortunately nothing like that in this movie. But there is some tismy plot stuff, and we'll get there. We will get there.
Yeah.
But the acting is great from everyone. I'm trying to think of what else. What else was it that...
Just on a subjective standpoint, what did you think of Daniel Craig's accent in the movie?
I thought it was hilariously bad.
I mean, I only saw it. Yeah, I only saw it from the trailers, but like, my God.
Like, he got criticism for like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo for like not holding a Swedish accent. It's like there's just something about him and accent.
He was supposed to be Swedish in that movie. Wait.
Yeah, I think so.
No way. No, I have to rewatch this movie.
Yeah.
I watched it. I was like, oh man, I don't know. Who knows?
I'll go on the Gorn, bro.
Actually, that is the thing. Is there is a pretty funny line where Chris Evans, towards the end, tells Daniel Craig that he's sick and tired of his Kentucky Fried Foghorn Leghorn drawl, and that actually got like a good laugh out of me. That's another thing is there's a lot of dialogue in this that's genuinely funny. As is the case with Rian Johnson.
Donut thing.
Oh God.
That was one that
Yeah, that was one of the highlights of like dialogue in 2019 for me. Now it's not consistently funny. There's certainly some lines, a lot of lines actually that don't land well, and those have to do with CSI KFC. Like that wasn't funny in the trailer, and it's not funny in the movie.
Twitter thing with Tony Collette and all that. Like, you're famous. There are a lot of lines like that. They're just like,
Oh, I don't think I laughed at a single line from Tony Collette that was meant to be funny. Like the thing when she says, what was it? I can't remember the line, but she's like, "Are you saying no as a no you can't tell us, or no there hasn't been?" I can't remember that fucking line. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah.
Maybe that was just supposed to be clever, but there was a lot of lines like that I think were supposed to feel clever, but they just didn't, or funny, or witty. Is it hits and misses. So.
Yeah. Well, so the main issue with the dialogue that I have is everything involving the politics in this movie. There's quite a few exchanges between family members in this that are political, and they're just so ham-fisted. Now, to Ryan's credit, not every left-leaning person in this is like a saint or whatever. Like Toni Collette is one of those people that's like, she is clearly more left-leaning, and she's a terrible person. But pretty much everyone else in the family is like right-wing, and they all suck. And there is an interesting thing with the Toni Collette's daughter, Meg, played by the 13 Reasons Why girl. She's established.
Well, like the one that killed herself.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, she's right next. She's right between Michael Shannon and Chris Evans in the little picture I have up on screen right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
I couldn't recognize her.
So there's this thing where the film tells us that she's like supposed to be a social justice warrior, because they actually have Chris Evans ask her, "How's the SJW degree going?" Because Ryan Johnson is not very good with subtlety. And then the kid that's next to her and Michael Shannon, with the phone in his hand, he's supposed to be this. He is useless.
There was just nothing to him. Completely useless. Like, why was he even in the film? Like, there was like.
Well, there was
nothing.
That's the
or anything which I thought to suspect him with. He was just a guy in the bathroom.
That's the thing is, they frequently refer to him as like an alt-right troll or Nazi or whatever, and yet he doesn't say anything that's actually Nazi-like outside of calling the 13 Reasons Why girl a liberal snowflake, which is not a thing that just Nazis say. Any right-winger can say that. And also refers to Ana de Armas' character as a...
Oh, no.
No.
Typical.
Said this. We need to come up with a name for that. Like
the void out.
Knockout.
When are you gonna watch Legion?
All right, I'm back. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Sorry about that. So, yeah. So, I was trying to remember what I was talking about. The alt-right kid, supposedly, yeah. So, he just calls someone a liberal snowflake, and then he calls another person a dirty anchor baby, which is not really enough to establish someone as a Nazi, and in my opinion. I think if they had maybe shown the types of stuff that he was writing on his phone, that would have maybe helped, but there's really no confirmation. They just have characters calling each other SJW or alt-right, but they don't really say anything that supports that much. That was an interesting thing that I noticed.
And that comes down to a lot of the stuff in the movie. There's a lot of saying this, saying that. There's not a lot of character development. That's something I'd like to get into, because I think the characters are like insanely thin.
Yeah, the only characters that were remotely interesting to me was you had Ana de Armas' character, Marta, and then you had I actually liked Daniel Craig's character quite a bit. And I guess, Christopher Plummer was fine, Chris Evans was fine, but everyone else was pretty flat.
This is the thing, is I get used to the culprit was by process of elimination, because everyone else was so thin. I knew they couldn't make a reveal work. I was like, Captain America is the culprit. I'm like, everyone else is was at the memorial service of like. There's just it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was one of those things where like
Well, so if we want to talk about some Tismy plot stuff, I guess. So first off, it is way too obvious who the culprit is. It's so it is Captain America, folks. Chris Evans is the bad guy in this, which I called from the trailer. I knew that was going to be him from the trailer because, like, well, he's Captain America in the public conscious, so public consciousness, whatever. So of course, you know, Ryan Johnson is going to make the one guy that everyone knows to be like this Boy Scout in pop culture. He's going to make him the bad guy. I knew that was where he was going to go, and I called it. But there was also another thing that I thought was like, what if he's trying to set this up as like as a murder mystery whodunit, but the victim actually just killed himself, and he does that here too. So I predicted both of the twists of this movie. Ryan, you're not really that unpredictable. But yeah, like all the.
You said you didn't pervert your expectations enough.
No, he didn't. But the subversions in this movie that worked a lot better than they did in The Last Jedi, at least. So I guess talking about how they set up Chris Evans as the bad guy, the whole thing where you have a character say that dogs are the best judge of character when you see them being friendly with Marta, and then like 5 minutes later you see them being hostile with the guy that actually did it. That was lame. There was a little convenience there where there's basically so Marta, who's all the way on the far right, Ana de Armas' character, has a tell when she lies. She throws up. Just the thought of lying makes her throw up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a very easy way for the for the detectives to know when she's telling the truth, of course, and to sort of they use her as like sort of to cross check other family members' stories, basically, which I thought was very convenient, but it does set up a pretty funny joke at the very end. So there's that. I think that if we really want to talk about the super Tismy stuff, though, let's first talk about the setup. So the whole thing happens because Marta, who is Christopher Plummer's nurse, right? Christopher Plummer is he's playing this 85-year-old murder mystery writer, okay? So he's spent many years of his life writing these types of stories, right, involving murder. So it's his 85th birthday, and Marta appears to give him 100 milligrams of morphine by mistake. Now, how a nurse does this or is led to believe to do this, like we can touch upon later. And now this is actually, before we continue this, I just want to say the first third of this movie was pretty good. Once it got down to actually explaining what happened, I was like, this is getting dumber and dumber by the minute. So anyways, Christopher Plummer believes that he's been given 100 milligrams of morphine. And Marta Ana de Armas, Marta, whatever. I'm going to call her Marta, just because that's shorter. Marta believes that, so I have to find this antidote that I have in this kit, that'll save his life. Because if you're given 100 milligrams of morphine, you're going to be dead within 10 minutes. So remember that, folks. The film establishes that if you are given 100 milligrams of morphine, you are dead within 10 minutes. Very important.
Yeah, don't do 100 milligrams of morphine.
Very important detail to remember. So Christopher Plummer, he doesn't want Marta to be caught, because if they find out that he died of a morphine overdose to that degree, and they know that she was the one that gave him morphine every night or whatever, that she would go to jail, and the police would find out that her mother came to America illegally. and then deport her. So the whole like legal immigration and whatnot, that plays somewhat of an effect on the plot, which I don't have a problem with. But where it goes insane is you have this 85-year-old murder mystery writer. I want you to follow me on this here, right? Mm-hmm. So this 85-year-old murder mystery writer who believes that he's been given 100 milligrams of morphine. Now, he decides to slit his own throat. So he's basically saying, all right, well, I'm going to die because you can't find the antidote, and it's going to take an ambulance 15 minutes just to get here. By then, I'm going to be dead. So he's accepted his fate, and he decides to instruct Marta how she can leave the house and then double back and essentially make it seem like he was alive, like Christopher Plummer was alive sometime after Marta left, so that Marta's name is cleared, okay? And so he slits his own throat to cover up Marta's mistake. But here's the thing. 85-year-old murder mystery writers should know that when a body is found, there is an autopsy done by a medical examiner. A part of the autopsy is always, and I mean always, going to involve a toxicology report. Now, a toxicology report, for those that are listening that aren't familiar with that, is they basically test your bloodstream for any unusual chemicals, basically. They want to see if you've been doing drugs prior to your death. They do a toxicology report for every person that dies, okay? So if you committed suicide by cutting your wrists, hanging yourself, jumping off a building, whatever, there's a toxicology report. If you blow your brains out, there's a toxicology report. If you die in a car crash, believe me, there's a toxicology report involved because they want to see if you were like drinking. Okay, so he should know that a toxicology report should show that amount of morphine in his system. So, if you, so it's like slitting his own throat is a moot idea, basically. It's pointless. If he, now Gatling Golduck says, I mean, they did mention the autopsy later in the film. Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's retarded if you, look, again, think of it from his perspective. If he thinks that he has 100 milligrams of morphine in his system, then he should know that slitting his own throat is not going to help Marta. Okay? So, on top of this, before he dies, before he slits his own throat, he gives Marta these instructions as to how she's going to clear her own name, basically, as a suspect. So, she is to leave the house around midnight, which is like basically at that time exactly. Has her loudly declare what the time is. I think that she's also to go down a certain flight of stairs loudly so that people can hear her leaving. And then she leaves the house, and Michael Shannon is out there, and he's smoking a cigar, and he sees her leaving in her car. Then she stops at a certain point. She stops her car at a certain point that won't be detected by a security camera, loops around the house, goes through like a back gate, and then she has to climb up this, Evan, do you know what that thing was called on the house? Like the little wooden thing she basically used as a ladder to climb up to that secret window?
What,
Sure,
terrace?
what you call that? Yeah, it's like it's the thing that like you grow like vines off of, or like
Yeah, I think that's
flowers.
a
A terrace. Okay, yeah. So she
terrace,
climbs
that's totally the right
she
word.
climbs the house. The house's terrace. Okay, she has to climb the terrace, and then there's this window that's got like this this wall right in front of it. So from the inside, it doesn't look like, it looks like it's just a wall, but there's actually a window behind it, and the wall is like on a hinge. Okay, so it's a secret entrance through a window that they just happen to have on in this house. Okay, so then she is to put on Christopher Plummer's robes. I want you to follow me here. Okay. Christopher Plummer.
Wait, okay.
Christopher Plummer says, you then have to put on my night robe or whatever, and go down the stairs and make sure that my son, Walt, played by Michael Shannon, who is going to be outside, and he's going to be standing in a very specific spot so that he will see the robes through the frosted glass, but he's not going to be able to make out that it's you and not me. So Christopher Plummer knows that sometime after he dies, after he himself dies, his son, Michael Shannon, is going to be standing outside of the front door in such a position that will allow him to believe that his dad is coming down the stairs in his robe and not actually see that it's Marta instead. Oh, hi, Jay. Jay, do you want to come on? Do you want to come on, Jay? Oh, fuck it. Let's do it. I'm going to add Jay to the call.
So here's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the frosted glass situation, I understand where you could not tell specifically who it is. The thing is, Ana de Armas is like 5'5"?
Yeah.
And a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And Christopher Plummer is like a tall man.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be obvious, like, the moment you look through that's not your dad? I don't
Especially
get it.
how short she is. That was one of those things that I thought of. Is like, what? And I love that he thinks of all that in like 10 seconds. You're just like, dude, like, he plans all of this. He's like, it's so elaborate.
You know
He's
what?
like,
You know
he
what?
doesn't even think about it. He just explains it. You're like,
To
wow.
Ryan's credit, this does sound like something an insane, eccentric 85-year-old drug addict, fucking mystery writer would say. Yeah, exactly. This I would have loved.
Farm to
However,
it,
if you were truly trying to subvert expectations, you should just have the plan fail terribly.
Oh, well,
like, that would be so fun.
dude, like, I'm just saying, just the fact that he is able to predict that Michael Shannon is going to be out there in that very spot instead of, like, back inside the house finished with his cigar, and then he sees, like, if Michael Shannon goes inside the house, or if there is anyone in the house that has to get up out of bed for something, go to the bathroom, go for a midnight snack, they're going to see Marta in the robes, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing in Harlan's robes?"
What if his son saw his dad walk, or what he thought was his dad, and wanted to pop it and just be like, "Hey, Dad."
Yeah, and then it's Marta in his robe.
Yeah, and then you just have that awkward situation like, Marta, why are you wearing my dad's robes? Marta, what's going on?
Oh, it's fucking insane, man.
I mean, they try to have that the weak link with like the great grandmother seeing her, and like that comes in later. So it's like, you know, they had stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah.
before we move on to that, I just want to say that line where they're like, "Do you know how old she is?" and they're like, "We have no idea." That was one of those like lines that I thought was genuinely very funny. But yeah, go on.
About which one?
Well, you were talking about the grandmother, right?
Well,
Or the great grandmother.
Oh yeah, like, well, honestly, one of my biggest issues with the way the plot is set up is that, like, it's so, like, everyone fits a role. Like, you lay that out. They show this is how all this has happened. So you're like, you know, like, Michael Shannon was on the stairs. You know this, you know that, and it's like, you know what has occurred, and it's like then the mystery is just like who hired essentially the Daniel Craig's character, and after that it's just like it's just process of elimination by like how many characters have been developed, and like freaking Ransom is the only person who is developed to a decent degree. So that was one of those things again with the predictability of the movie. It's frustrating to.
His name is Ransom.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
So his hold on
No.
hang on. It gets better. It gets better. His first name, his birth name is actually Hugh. So his birth and middle name put together is Hugh Ransom. Huge Ransom.
Damn.
Yeah, and
Damn.
Jay, this is not Jay. Sorry, Buzz.
Cosmic.
Buzz, you have to understand that there's a bit in this movie where someone says to a character. No, actually, no. Fuck it. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay. So basically, the movie establishes that Harlan Christopher Plummer's character kills himself to protect Marta, and then we find out that he wrote every single family member of his related to him by blood has been written out of the will, and he's going to give everything away to his nurse, Marta. Okay? So, once they read out the will, you basically have everyone in Christopher Plummer's family turn on Marta after they were, like, treating her very, very nicely and everything. And there's some interesting...
Bunch of racists.
Well, there's some interesting subtext to it that I thought was like, okay, this is a little interesting here. And then they have Ransom, Chris Evans' character, be the only guy that wants to help them because he's the first one that finds out that he gets cut out of the will, as we see in the movie. And so when everyone finds out that everything goes to Marta, he thinks that this is hilarious. He's like, yeah, fuck my family, so I'll help Marta. But he's motivated to have her give him a cut of the inheritance. So, and then we find out later in the movie that Christopher Plummer's character just decided to tell Ransom that everything was going to go to Marta and not a dime was going to go to anyone of his family. Okay, so that's what prompts Ransom to concoct this insanely contrived plan to manipulate his grandfather into killing himself. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so oh god, this is such a stupid plot.
Yeah, and I just want to note that he's just driving away and then he just stops and he just thinks about all this. He's just like,
So
you know what? I'm gonna all of it. Go on.
So I'm gonna assume that I'll explain it, but so just as somebody who has not seen it, you're telling me that Ransom, the guy who did this, he somehow engineered the situation for Marta to fuck up with the morphine.
Yes.
The only response would be suicide.
Yes.
So is he a psychic?
Yeah. So.
Based on everything we know, he must be.
Now wait, I can't remember if Ransom predicted that his grandfather would commit suicide. I think that the idea was... Well, no. So I think that the idea was...
He wanted... Yeah. Right, he wanted her blamed for killing him, and so that like the will would essentially get dissolved, right? And then he killed himself, and nothing showed up in the toxicology.
Right, that's where it. But
how would it not show up in the toxicology report?
Because
there was a switch.
So he switches. So
this is the whole thing.
He gets two syringes. He takes all of the drugs out of one bottle. So he takes all the morphine out of one bottle, and then all the fluid out of the second bottle, and switches them basically. So he doesn't switch labels; he switches which drug goes in which bottle. So, so that's how. But Marta, being a.
But wouldn't you? But wait. But wouldn't you? Okay, so 100. It doesn't matter what the bottle says. If you take 100 milligrams of something, it should be obvious you put way too much in the syringe.
That part I don't understand. Like that's part of the movie that I wasn't sure about. Now, the idea was she doesn't give him 100 milligrams of morphine, but she looks at the bottle and she's like, "Oh my god, I gave you 100 milligrams of morphine." Maybe there's a drug that she had that was supposed to be. Like, I can't... Look, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I don't understand how, like if there's a drug that you can take 100 milligrams of. Morphine's definitely not one of them. I know that for sure. But she supposedly gives...
Maybe for a fucking elephant.
She supposedly gives, like, the correct dosage of something to him. Whatever it was in the other bottle. And then she finds out that... the bottle that she used was labeled morphine, but she wasn't looking at the label, she was looking at the liquid itself and going by like the weight and everything, which I don't fully understand that either. Evan, do you understand that? Because that makes no sense to me. Like, why would the...
said it as a feeling.
Why would...
She essentially described it as just a feeling of just like, she's done it 1,000 times, she knows what it is. I was... She said it was like the viscosity, and I was like one of those.
Okay, wait.
Could that be possible?
So Ransom.
Maybe, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
So Ransom, he takes the one bottle that's not morphine. one bottle that is morphine. He switches the bottle that's not morphine, its contents with the morphine. Okay, so then she takes the thing that she thinks is not morphine,
Mm-hmm.
then fills the syringe with
Mm-hmm.
it, and then doesn't look at what it is, but just knows based off, I guess, pure experience and an insane, I guess, level of proprioception.
Right. So
when it comes
so Ransom assumed that she was going to look at the bottle labeled whatever it was that wasn't morphine, but that would actually have the morphine in it, and then she would give him an overdose of morphine. Okay. But then what actually ends up happening is apparently Marta is not the kind of nurse that actually looks at the fucking label on a bottle of drugs that she's going to give to her boss. She just goes off of the feel, like the weight and the viscosity of the liquid inside. She doesn't actually look at the fucking bottle. She doesn't look at the label, though. I don't know the fucking nurse that does this.
Brain. Cosmic. Right, she's clearly the greatest nurse in
No,
history,
this...
bro. What? Who needs to read when you have super sense?
It makes literally no sense. No, it's... Okay, hold on. Chat, refresh. Refresh. Try again. Try again, folks.
Oh.
Channel the power of Singapore.
It's dead? It can't be dead.
What do you think it's? I think it's up, right? Hang on. It's a roast. Just no.
This fucking confused.
Goddamn YouTube.
I just logged onto it. It's up.
I'm about to say I'm on it. Oh wait, it froze for me. Oh man.
Did it freeze for me too?
No,
it's not frozen for me.
No, it's back.
It's back? Alright.
Jason.
Okay. Alright. Okay, so yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Let's try this again. Okay. Refresh.
Back, alright.
I also blame Jay.
This is still probably better than the actual movie? Yeah. I guarantee you it is.
YouTube's a flawless platform that has no flaws. Yes, indeed. We all love YouTube. We all worship the algorithm.
Up for a second.
Ugh.
What in the fresh fucking hell?
Oh my god. I love streaming, by the way. It's great.
Oh, it's great.
It's back. It's up still. Okay.
Makes
Okay. I think we're okay.
Okay, might be fine. Okay, let's resume.
Okay. So yeah. Christopher Plummer and Marta believe that he's been injected with 100 milligrams of morphine, and even though Christopher Plummer is showing no effects of the morphine whatsoever, and Marta is a trained nurse,
Which he definitely would.
That would be like Jesse from Breaking Bad when he takes heroin. He'd be like floating, like you would not be able to think clearly or even walk if you took that much morphine.
Especially when he says it's so much that he'd be dead within 10 minutes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like it's not just that you're dead within 10 minutes. It's that those are the best 10 minutes of your life.
Keep
Like,
it.
You would be brain dead, like frothing from the mouth, and just like.
And we're not.
It's like, no
we're not
way.
criticizing this movie for not showing him having any effects. It's like it's just the characters are retarded and don't realize. Wait, that can't have possibly been morphine because I'm not feeling it.
Now hold on, I am.
What
criticizing
the
it for not
fuck?
showing those effects because that makes no sense.
Who is this guitar musician faggot? Oh my god.
What?
Guitar musician. Oh my god. What are you doing? Okay.
What?
You hearing something in the background?
No, he's spamming the chat. Okay.
Oh, no. The brother of.
Oh, I
Brother
see it.
No! God damn it! Now on top of this stream tisms, now we've got a guitar musician.
It's a calculated
Stream
attack
is
from
cursed,
China.
man. What the hell is going on?
Oh my god!
It is China, dude.
Oh, Jay, we're giving you competition for your last stream.
Is he banned?
I just timed him out. Oh wait, time out for 300 seconds. What the fuck? Oh my god.
Guitar musician. Can anybody read sheet music? What does he say?
Okay. Oh boy. Jay. Tell you what, Jay. Oh, hang on.
Jay, as our manager, I need you to get in contact with the production company to voice our concern.
All right, Cop with So and Jay,
If I
I'm giving you mod powers so you can fucking like just ban this guy.
Cop
just
with
ban
So.
him, okay? Yeah. I
Cop,
was trying to
wait, I want to. Cop with So.
I'm trying to promote Jay, and then it selects Cop with So again.
I love Cop Wiseau so much. That's such a good name. I want this series. I want a whole police procedural series of Tommy Wiseau being a cop.
All right, so Cop Wiseau and JXC, you have permission to kick the guitar musician if he comes back, okay? I'm trusting you, Cop
You
Wiseau.
have permission to terminate all Chinese spammers with extreme
Cop
prejudice.
Wiseau.
Democracy is non-negotiable.
Cop Wiseau, I need you to act like a cop and exterminate the minority, okay?
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
All right, okay. So, what were we talking about, Ken?
We're talking about
Still
how
on the
how the
morphine.
morphine makes no sense. Literally everything you've just described to me, if this is accurate, is so stupid.
He said it's not a flaw that he isn't like becoming high or showing symptoms. It's a flaw that he still decides to slit his throat even though he's
here's the thing,
feeling
I think
literally
it's-
nothing.
I think it's all flaws. I think it's all flaws top to bottom. Injecting somebody with 100 milligrams of morphine, and then he comes up. He's in a lucid enough state.
Now
to
he's
come
not
up with
actually
this
injected.
incredibly
He's not.
complex
He's not
plan.
actually injected. He just thinks
okay.
he's injected.
Yes, but that's my point. Like he's lucid enough to come up with this whole insane plan. Neither him nor the nurse think for 1 second that maybe you're fine.
Yeah.
That's what I have a problem with. I'm like you especially like Mara, like she would hold for a second. She would know that there was no symptoms that were kicking in. So yeah.
So, are we ready to move on to the next Tismy thing? Because there's another thing with the morphine that's even funnier. So, if you would believe it, that isn't the dumbest thing about the morphine. So, you know how they said that 100 milligrams of morphine is enough to kill you in 10 minutes, right? So, the toxicology report comes back and reveals that, oh no, there was no morphine in his system. Okay. So, the way that Ransom is trying to cover up his crime here of switching the medicine, he basically can't do it that night because the dogs basically come to him at the back gate, the same one that Marta sneaks back in through when she's trying to clear her name, you know, the night that Christopher Plummer dies. And so he's like, all right, I'll wait until the reading of the will, okay? So he apparently does this the day that they read the will, but the maid, Fran, that's her name, Fran, spots him tampering with the medicine kit and like switching the medicine back, I guess. So then she also manages to get a hold of the toxicology report before anyone else does, and she basically puts everything together. Okay, now there's multiple things that go wrong here. She hides the toxicology report in this little box thing that the 13 Reasons Why girl uses for her marijuana stash.
Okay.
Like that's where she decides to hide the toxicology report. Evan, is that correct?
That was the part which I least understood. I
Oh
was
my
like,
god,
what
kill
was
the
that
kill
all
the racist
about? Why did
musician.
he keep-
Kill the racist musician. Guys, ban him, ban him, ban him. Do it. He's back.
Wait, where? What is the?
See him in the chat.
I don't see them in the chat.
Oh my god.
There's a racist
Yeah,
musician.
you're looking at top chat. Go to live chat. He's there.
I don't see it. Let me refresh. Let me see if he's. Racist musicians.
Yeah, he's
Still
spamming
not-
Chinese
I get anything.
characters in the chat.
I mean Chinese.
Yeah.
Not seeing anything.
Oh my god.
Yeah, what the fuck? Southpaw has 4D vision, dude. He can see the future.
I see it right now.
This is because we're not seeing it. What's like chat? Do you get chat? Oh, there. Okay, now I'm seeing it.
There it is. Yeah, I'm seeing it too.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume based on the fact that he says racist musician that's just like a racist diatribe.
Yeah. Christ.
The maid sounds like a big-brained woman. Well, she's something. Anna de Armas, very pretty.
You know what? I'm gonna switch over to top.
She's great.
Maybe I'll switch to top chat, and maybe that'll fix things. I guess. Who knows? So.
Yeah, this is weird because I can see it in the live stream, but in the actual chat on the page, I don't see it. And other people are saying they don't see it.
Yeah. Well, we've got Leah of the Underworld saying, "Okay, Cop Why So? Switch to live chat, and you'll see him. Trust me."
I don't see
Switch
him, civilian.
Okay.
Cop Wizo, please edit the AV to have Tommy wearing the dread helmet.
Okay, give me 1 sec.